actually see lucky spawns from both of the players. You want that. You want the human expand to kind of be as far away from the enemies as possible, and same with the Night Elf. I'm kind of surprised that Starshaped isn't going for an AOW on the hill to allow for that super fast expand.
Maybe because
And
it's not necessary. Oh, yeah, but ThorzaiN, look at how it's opening anyway.
yeah, so ThorzaiN, or not Starshaped, I meant Foggy. Sorry. So Foggy is in the position to expand on this map. In general, you want to expand in that corner that's just far away from the other teams. So I kind of thought that Foggy would go for the AOW on the hill,
Yeah.
to AOW creep the mine and get that level 2. It's pretty much, I mean, it's punishable, but it's pretty hard to punish. And even if they do punish it, it's still a pretty easy creep to finish.
Yeah.
Um,
I think
so
maybe it could just be like a totally different plan where he opens with Keeper, he goes quickly into double racks hunts, builds up the hunt count, they get the center, which is like massive momentum. Like you get two really big items,
huge,
and then they
huge.
do a timing where they both have 50 supply. I'm surprised
Yeah,
that there hasn't been, like the performances in 2-on-2 I think have been very decent, but I feel like they're still not that refined compared to like, what we could see sometimes. Maybe that's because I'm like super elitist and I've played before like a lot of 2-on-2s and like really thought about it, but I feel like sometimes they're freestyling a little too much.
yeah, yeah. No, you can see that. You can see that in their play. But so out from ThorzaiN, I think you mentioned earlier, we do see the Paladin rifle build coming out, and it's the same Starshaped fed 100 gold, 60 wood to allow him to get that Pally rifle out more quickly. And I expect him to fast expand, very similar to game 1 in the bottom left-hand corner. Foggy still has no buildings. Here comes a Wisp to make something. There we go. AOW number 1, AOW number 2. So he's making like a little gateway at the front of his base. Foggy going with the double AOW hunts, because as you did mention earlier, the taking the middle, taking the fountain is just huge momentum
Yeah.
swing. It's basically a free creep. So a lot of times on Lost Temple, despite the expand, there's kind of two things to look out for on this map. One is the expand that's very easy to take, and the other is who ends up taking the middle. Because usually whoever ends up taking the middle and getting map control usually ends up winning, even if the other team does have an expand. Because the items that you end up getting, plus it's because it's a health fountain, it's essentially a free creep. You won't lose any units creeping it, and you can heal up to full before you actually push. So, oh, it looks like, oh no, that was so close. Starshaped almost got the last hit on that creep from side.
That ramp is a stairway to hell, by the way. Like, this is 2 Enchanter Force ready to Stockton slap you if you go up. Like,
Yeah.
I would not want to go there.
I wonder, is it worth it to do like a full block on that hill? Like if the other team is doing like hit and runs, it's actually
Yeah.
really annoying. If you, it's kind of like StarCraft, right, where you block your ramp because
Yeah.
like you try and click up the hill, but your army won't have vision at the top of the hill, so it's just super annoying the way the mechanics work because you got to like click at the top of the hill, then everything attacks, and it's.
I think
But
if
anyway.
the opponent just kind of stand down the hill and they can attack those Enchanter Force, it could kind of backfire, if they build a big army. Because then you lose your 2 production buildings. But yeah, obviously that's like a pretty extreme scenario, right? Like against human and night elf is kind of unlikely you would face that. And ThorzaiN actually went for tier 2 so here, so no expansion.
I'm kind of surprised by that.
The fact that Paladin can heal Keeper Bazoo is really nice. Because even if Starshaped overextends, it can still be saved by the Pala. And speaking of which,
I like that they're bringing Wisp. Oh, that's actually a pretty big detonate. So it was already entangled, but he still got a detonate on the Death Knight, taking out 50 mana. It doesn't
ooh,
get better.
Foggy entangled the Null Overseer, which by the way is level 5, so it's gonna be entangled for a decent amount.
That wasn't a misclick either. I think he was trying to do that, which is kind of interesting. So we do see entangles coming out from both sides. Foggy, now he entangled the rifle, which I think is the better target over the creep. But Foggy is out of mana and life on his Keeper. Starshape's doing a good job of focusing that Keeper. That's generally what you want to do when you're fighting a Keeper plus anything.
And
Keeper
Side
is
got
usually the
surrounded.
first target. Wow. So they're gonna force out both armies, and that's gonna allow them to take this middle.
Right, this is amazing for the Swedish team. And Blood Mage is already on the way. We got long rifles being made already. They could get some really big items there. And I think Foggy and SyDe realize they need to do something about this, so they're gonna head right back to the center. Really trying to disrupt that here.
Oh my goodness, and our Swedish friends are dominating the middle here. Forcing out those 2 TPs, allowing them to take control of this fountain, and just having the position in this fountain is absolutely massive. We can see, even though, so we do see a rifle fall, but they ended up taking a lot of damage, and they're still kind of caught out of position. All the while, this paladin is just kind of happily creeping. Oh, but it looks like Foggy and SyDe are gonna overtake the middle, and the 2 main creeps that have those big items are still alive. So there's no overseers, are the guys that you are looking to kill in the middle.
Get one more entangle here on that one hunts. The keeper's out of mana though, both of them are, and more Wisp actually joining the fight. Paladin gets level 3.
Oh.
And to be honest, you don't have much mana here. I would like to see Devotion level 2 maybe, but...
Well, we do see a Blood Mage coming. I expect this Blood Mage to start feeding mana to the Paladin.
Oh, okay, so yeah, no, take heal absolutely then.
Oh, there we go. So he's actually feeding mana to the Keeper. Get some entangles on these Fiends, and there it goes. Entangle on the Fiend. SyDe does have 1 coil left, but it's only a level 1 coil, and it's not going to be enough to save that Fiend, even if he does coil it. So he just lets that one die. This one he might coil. There he goes. And all the while, these Starshaped is happily healing these hunts in the fountain, and he's going to keep kind of... When you play... when you're playing Night Elf mass hunts on this one of the things you try and do is abuse the hide mechanic.
Okay, whose sentinels are these? Like, what the hell? We don't even know if it's Foggy, so...
Yeah, you actually can't tell. My guess is one of each.
Yeah.
But
because Foggy, we know he researches it every time, and that's gonna be it.
Oh my goodness. That was actually... So, even though that was only a 7